Alternative assessments. Assessment activities to meet the needs of all students. Throughout this presentation, we will look at alternative assessments, what defines them, their benefits, what research says about the use of alternative assessments, various types of alternative assessments including a description of the type of assessment, the purpose of each type of assessment, and why it is good to use it in the classroom. These types of assessments that we will look at are videos, games, websites, presentations, and the use of multiple modalities. Alternative assessments are a form of authentic assessment that differs from traditional assessment. It takes many forms, both subjective and objective. Using alternative assessments helps to engage students more. They often require thinking skills and help to increase motivation among students. These skills help students to prepare for increasingly complex workplace environments. Alternative assessments can take place anytime throughout the lesson or project. They are often used for both formative assessment and summative assessment. Being as alternative assignments are defined as any assessment that differs from traditional paper and pencil assessments, these are only a few of the types of alternative assessments out there. We will look at videos, games, websites, presentations, and the use of multiple modalities. First, a few of the technology tools available as a means of students recording videos are Flipgrid, Powtoon, iMovie, the camera app for Chromebooks, and Voki. All of these apps allow students to record videos, though they largely have different features. Flipgrid allows students to record themselves or their screen as they record their thinking. They can add stickers, draw, or otherwise personalize their video. Powtoon allows them to create an animated video. iMovie is a video editing software. The camera app that is native to Chromebooks is pretty straightforward in recording videos. Lastly, Voki allows students to create an avatar, then either record their own voice or type in what they would like the avatar to say. Videos. To use videos as an alternative assessment, have students record or create a video to demonstrate their learning, show a skill you are assessing, discuss their thinking or reasoning toward a particular project or standard, or to reflect upon their learning. The purpose of it is to record a video as an alternative means of assessing a student, helps students to show or demonstrate their learning in a less stressful manner. It also allows the teacher to visually see the learning without having to be directly in front of the student. Students that struggle to express themselves in writing tend to thrive in this type of assessment. An example activity for using video would be, in order to assess student understanding of the area and perimeter, students were given a number of requirements to create the enclosures for multiple animals in a zoo. The students then used the requirements to design the zoo while meeting the requirements needed for each animal. They then used Flipgrid to record their screen and their voice while explaining how they found the area and perimeter of a minimum of 2 animal enclosures to ensure that they met the requirement. Many of the digital games available tend to be content specific, though there are also many that allow you to choose the content in the game. These are applications like Kahoot and Socrative. Math ones would be ProdigyGame.com. Legends of Learning is a standards-based game including math, science, and social studies. Using games as an assessment allows for many opportunities. Games are engaging and they require many thinking skills, often at a rapid pace. Not only can you assess skills and understanding within the game, but also while they are playing the game. Walk around, ask questions, and make observations to assess as well. Using games to assess students' higher order thinking skills, understanding, reasoning skills, and reflection Games afford the opportunity to assess and give feedback in the moment as students play games. An example of this activity would be to assign a standard in Prodigy for students to play. As students are playing, walk around and ask students to explain how they are solving the current problem they are working on. From there, you can either note what they are doing, give them feedback on the way in which they are solving the problem, or ask more questions to ascertain their reasoning. Creating websites. There are many applications that allow students to create websites. Google Sites, Weebly, and Wix are 3 that are free and tend to be easy to navigate. Students can create and maintain a website on a content topic to track and demonstrate their learning or journey. This could also encompass maintaining a blog to reflect on their learning or to track their thinking. The purpose of creating and maintaining a website to track and demonstrate their learning is to allow students to keep everything in one place, allow their creative side to demonstrate their learning, as well as having an ability to show it in multiple ways. For example, students could include writing, videos, GIFs, images, etc. They can also easily be done in groups. An example activity of utilizing websites or creating websites would be involving a creation of a website for an assessment detailing the journey of a real or fictional person through a historical event or period they are studying, particularly with a fictional character. This assessment can show their understanding of the social climate and the events of the time, including the roles of various jobs, genders, class systems, and the reasons and events that led to them. Creating presentations. There are many websites that allow students to create digital presentations. Google Slide and PowerPoint allow students to create linear presentations, but are simple and easy to use. Prezi has many more capabilities to create non-linear presentations. Venngage and Canva include templates for many types of presentations such as infographics, digital brochures, posters, etc. Presentations like websites allow students to use their creative skills and multiple means of expression to demonstrate their understanding and thinking on a topic. These can be done in small groups, as they allow multiple students to work on the same presentation simultaneously. The purpose of using presentations as a means of assessment is that they allow you to break the assessment into sections for students to demonstrate their learning. As a formative assessment, the students can show and receive feedback for each section before moving on to the next section, so that the final assessment should hold no surprises for you as the teacher as well as for the student. Students learning about animal adaptations could create a presentation showing, explaining, etc., each step involved in the evolution of an adaptation for a particular animal. There are many different ways to create learning menus or boards for students. However, I find that using G Suite applications like Google Slides, Google Sites, and Google Classroom easily work together to integrate other applications. Offering students a choice in how they would like to demonstrate their learning empowers students to find the means that works best for them. It also gives them confidence. Creating a menu of options allowing students to show their learning by offering assessments using different modalities. The purpose of offering students a choice of assessment using different modalities allows students to demonstrate their learning in the way they feel most confident. This will help them to show their learning in the best light. An example activity would be, while working through a math unit, I created a menu of options for students to choose from in order for them to not only practice each standard being assessed, but to also demonstrate their learning. The menu included videos to watch explaining the standards and how they work through the problems, games, practice problems, and quizzes for each standard. Some had escape rooms, others allowed them to use online manipulatives Some were higher order thinking problems, and some were just skill and drill problems for practice.